So I know in this masterclass, some of these ideas have maybe been really new and fresh and even revolutionary in some ways. And a lot of times I get a lot of questions about this, and rightfully so. This is something that maybe we haven't really thought about being church in this way ever. And sharing faith with friends, it seems intimidating and hard and scary. So I just wanted to run through a couple frequently asked questions and give kind of my responses to those. When we talk about a blended ecology, the inherited church, the traditional church, is just as valuable and most important as the emerging church or these churches in the wild or the fresh expression. You actually can't have one without the other. When they're healthy and living together in an ecosystem, there's a symbiotic relationship that forms. These inherited congregations that are cultivating these things, a lot of times, and this is not the right motivation for this, so please hear me saying this, the only right motivation to go out and start new Christian communities with people is because you love people and you want to have relationships with them and you want to share the faith that you have with them. It's not to save your church. It's not to save the denomination plan. It's not because I want to see my pews filled with butts again, okay? But what we do is we connect with these people in the community over time, and they break down the stereotypes about Christians, the negativity that they might think about Christians, are angry, judgmental, whatever. As we form these relationships and people say, Christians really aren't that bad. They're some of the best people maybe I've ever known. I think I will go check out what's happening on Sunday mornings. And so we call those bridgebacks. These are people that anywhere in that listening, loving, building relationship, exploring discipleship journey might come to faith, and they might say, this is great, but what happens on Sunday mornings or Wednesday nights? I want to check that out. And they get integrated into the life of the congregation. So we see a lot of those people. It's a two-way street. It unleashes the people who maybe been going to church their whole lives. And now they're saying, the high point of my church life is I get to serve on a committee, or I go to worship, or if I'm a really good Christian, maybe I get to fill in for the pastor and preach once in a while. People are saying not a lot of energy and excitement about those possibilities, right? But this is saying you as a member of the church are also a missionary. And the things that you love to do and the things that you're passionate about can actually become forms of church with people that don't go to church. And this excites people. It awakens people. Frequently, I hear them say, yes, this is what I thought being a Christian was supposed to be from the beginning, right? Okay, this makes sense. So this is not in any way saying the inherited church is irrelevant. We're leaving it in the rear view. We're done with that way of being church. It's a both and. These things work together and complement, not in competition. Now, another question that comes up a lot is from pastors is, I'm already tired. I'm already taxed. I'm already exhausted. I can barely keep up with the things. Are you asking me to add something new? No, we're actually asking you to do much less. And what we're really doing is empowering people to own their own gifts and their own calling. And we're sharing the work of ministry in teams. So it might seem like a little more upfront work. I got to share these ideas. I got to help people understand what we're talking about. I got to kind of shift reverse the social contract there, renegotiate the social contract. But in the long run, once you have a team-based, lay-sustained kind of ministry, it's actually a lot lighter load on the pastor. And we're sharing the work of ministry with the people. We're doing a community-based evangelism, where the emphasis is not really on any one person that, now I got to share my faith and it's on me as the individual. But we're getting together in a community and we're giving these little opt-in kind of experiences. Obviously, these are faith-based kind of things that we're doing. And so people are saying, hey, come to Tattoo Parlor Church. We're going to get tattoos, but we also talk about Jesus. Come to Burritos and Bibles. We're going to be eating burritos, but we're also going to be kind of like having a little Bible study or sharing about these Jesus stories, right? So there's that faith element that's implicit built into it. But then when the time comes, it's communally together, these little opt-ins to say, Hey, later we're going to get together and pray. If anybody wants to stay after and do that, you're welcome to do that. But it comes from the community, and we're really kind of following the nudges of the Spirit. And I think many times we put the focus and the emphasis on us, like, I got to do it. I got to share my faith. I got to win people to Christ. And I flip that and think about the Holy Spirit's doing that already. What I'm trying to do is join in and be sensitive to what the Spirit's doing, not trying to force things and make things happen, but I'm following what the Spirit's already doing in people's lives and in that community. There's a framework that we've kind of come up with, and I'll ask, is this a good idea or is this a God idea? And the way that you can kind of tell the difference is, does this person have a team? They brought to me an idea, they're really passionate, they want to start a church and an ice cream shop. Okay. Do they have a team? If they don't have a team, I'd say that's a great idea, but first, can you get a couple other people? Do you have a team that's involved in this? Well, let's create a team to do it, right? Number one. Do they have a person apiece? Okay, you want to start the thing in the ice cream shop? Who do you know in the ice cream shop? Who's the person apiece that's opening that space, that's opening that practice, that's opening that possibility? If it's just an idea that you have and it's not coming out of a relationship, probably not a God idea. It's probably just a good idea. And then, do I have the relational credibility and authority with this person when they bring these kind of ideas? That if things start to go off the rails, do they see me as somebody that they trust, somebody that can speak wisdom, somebody that can help shape what they're doing? And that relational kind of credibility and authority piece is really important. Final challenge that I'll list is, what happens when we're in a group of people and people start talking about the Muslim faith, or they go way into some kind of toxic theology or whatever? And that happens, right, in these faith communities frequently. And so that takes the skill, not of a monologue deliverer where I'm going to read the thing that I prepared, but a dialogue facilitator. And there's ways that we can gently say, that's one way to think about that in that faith tradition. Let me tell you how we think about it as followers of Jesus in the Wesleyan tradition, or whatever your tradition might be. And so we can guide the conversation back to Jesus without shutting people down, without making their contribution feel like it's not important. In the process of the conversation, we can keep kind of centering it back on Jesus. So there's some responses to some of the frequently asked questions that come out around being church in the wild.